Hello friend, how is it going? Welcome back to Diesel Mercedes YouTube channel. I bought this cheap 2008 Mercedes-Benz S550 with 199,000 miles on the odometer last week. I drove her for 3 days and she's broken already. So let's take her inside of shop and let's see what is happening. It's unbelievable. 3 days of driving. Boom, it's already here. My plan was just clean her up a little bit and give you a full tour so you can share this purchase with me, but plans are for nothing apparently. And on the way home I got surprise. So what happened, I left shop, I'm driving like a half mile, and suddenly the RPM went up. Like, whoa. And then it did, whoa. That happened like in 2 seconds. And after that, boom, warning light in the instrument cluster. So let's see what I've got. Here you go. ABS and ESP currently unavailable. See operator's manual. Or I can start it so you see it. What I really see when I'm driving around. So there is that ABS light. ABS and ESP currently unavailable. If I push OK. Check brake pad wear. I visually check them, they are very thick, so I don't know why I have that one. Okay, and now I am in the driving mode, so the ABS is on and that warning triangle. I had her in the shop that day and I filmed for you the cabin air filter replacement. So I was working in the passenger seat before this happened. Also, I was checking the engine air filters, which are 2 of them, one here, one here. So I had this off. Also, I was checking why the AC was not running. And guess what? When I just randomly opened this, I could hear the Freon and I could smell it, Freon coming out of here. I push on that Schrader valve, but nothing changed. There was basically slow hissing and smell of Freon. So I brought my tool, the AC tool. Can you see the ends? Yeah, now you can see it probably. And I just used the thinner side, put it on the Schrader, and what I found out, it was, the valve was completely loose and like halfway out. So I just tighten it, put a cap on it back yesterday, and I will get a Freon and recharge this entire AC system. But the ABS unit, it's right here, including the computer connectors. And as I said, I was vacuuming all the leaves and so on around here. So I better check if I didn't disturb some wires or something, because this literally happened only 2 minutes after driving, after I did all of it. Or, as usually, it's not related to it whatsoever. So I brought my auto and hooked it down underneath the dash. It's the area. Switched off most of the stuff so I don't kill the battery. Now I'm running the scan and there are so many items to scan. So far 50 computers, 51. And here we go. So there is one fault on the motor. There is one fault, and that's new in ETC, electronic transmission control. we have two fault in the electronic parking brake, which is right here, and I was questioning that. ISM, Intelligent Servo Module 1, fault called an ABR, Adaptive Brake System, has a 3 fault codes. This vehicle has a night view assist, which works normally. Adaptive brake system, 3 fault codes. Let's go look in that. Let's see what can't be my problem. So I have stored left rear speed sensor. Perform the visual inspection. Left rear speed sensor. Perform the visual inspection. Implausible values from the RPM sensor rear axle. That is excellent information. It says left rear speed sensor has a problem, and that will be, my friend, right here. Driver's side on the rear, that's what we are calling left rear sensor. I really quickly checked that motor and the transmission, and it was both related actually to of the signal, the speed signal from the sensor, so that's good. So in the same unit I selected live data, and then it was under RPM sensors. You will think they will call it speed sensors, but it's RPM sensors. You can see all 4 of them, and if we will start moving vehicle, we can observe if they are reading correctly. So I started her up. You probably heard the rest of the creaking as the air suspension goes slightly up. I shared with you that there is a problem with the front air suspension. So we have some kind of values, 0.6. The range is from 0 kilometers per hour to 250 kilometers per hour. So I will put in reverse. We don't have to drive super fast. Step on the brake, put in reverse, and when I start moving, let's see if left rear, which is the number 3, reads any speed. And look at it, it's stuck at 0.6. So this is absolutely unbelievable. I'm just backing out of the shop, and that's all it's needed. I will go forward, I will put in the drive, and look at it. We already know clearly that left rear sensor is not moving. The data is absolutely identical. I'm sorry, that glare, that might be a problem for you. You might be not able to see it. I'm trying my best to show it to you. So the number 3 from the top always stayed 0.6 as a value, and it never changed. And that's our, let me try one more time, in this environment where there's no light from outside. Can you see it? I don't want to hit the lift or something just because I'm showing you the data. Do you see it? Incredible, isn't it? Everybody can see that if you have a scanner of this level, this is like $1,200. It's an Autel MS906. It was like one of the cheapest ones you could buy, which is bi-directional and does already huge amount of stuff. Can I program the tire pressure monitor on it? No. You will need a higher level, but you can also buy that tool separately, so you don't tie the one tool to everything. So you saw it, that third item is not reading anything, it stays at 0.6, and therefore I have this message. If we really logically think about what's happening, this is what is happening. There's no signal. Most likely it's the sensor itself, but it could be wires. Let's go and put her on the lift, and we will look on these wires, on these connections. Maybe there is physical damage to it. So she's up in the air. I got a light here. Let's go look on all the speed sensors, just to make a sense of it. So, by the way, this arm with that bad ball joint on both sides, I ordered both of them. It will be here in a couple of days, and I will make sure I will film the replacement. So, right in the center with that bolt, you see that wire coming there. That's a wheel speed sensor for the front left. This is, the wiring is for air shock. It has nothing to do with it. We don't see any more wires here, and that's the cable for it, or the wire, because we don't have any sensor for the brake pad's thickness. If we will transfer on the other side, which is right here, we will find this extra wire right here, and that's exactly for a thickness of brake pads. I think one of them must be malfunctioning, because I get that message about the thickness of the brake pads, and the fronts are like 50% and the rear ones seem to be like 80% of thickness, so I'm not sure. This is basically the other wheel speed sensor. This is a brake line, so that's nothing, and here we are on that air shock. So instead of one wire, we can count 2 wires coming to the front right wheel. I don't have any active oil leaks. I just need to clean up this baby, and I will finally have time and will be not dealing with these fiascos and absolute problems. Here, in my opinion, is electric parking brake. This is the unit, and there are 2 cables splitting. You see this cable? It's a parking brake cable. Here is the other one going on the other side. I have some malfunction in that too. Now let's go to our problematic side. So if we look here, there is a brake line, again, right here in the center of the screen. And here, this is the wire, the line for the air shock. So we see here 2 wires, 2 lines coming. The top one is the air shock, and the bottom one is that speed sensor. And if you look right there, this is where it's entering, if I can say a hub, that's where it's reading. So this is our problematic side. Our sensor is bad. By the way, here, this is consistent with the paperwork I received from the seller. This trailing arm was replaced. I don't know why. Of course, they didn't put the plastic cover which is supposed to be on it. As you can see it here, they throw it away, lost it or damaged it. So typical. The same happened in the front. They replace all filter housing, and stuff which was attached to it is missing. It's disaster. It's gross. So here we are, and here we have, instead of on the passenger rear, we have 3 wires, 3 lines coming in the back. So the very one on the bottom, it's the sensor which is right underneath it, and it's entering the hub. The second one is what? If we look, it's either the air shock or again the brake pad sensor, which is there, measures the pads, watches. They are not too thin, and I will have to clean it or do something with it, because as I said, just visual inspection tells me that the pads are super thick. I don't know why it's throwing off and giving the message in the vehicle. So I guess that gave you some kind of idea about the codes we saw together. This side has a problem. I will have to deal with that sensor That's a most likely. I will say, I can say pretty, without hesitation, 95, 98% of the time it's the sensor itself. It's not the wiring which is damaged somewhere. We together can see the wiring. It's not damaged by, let's say, I drove over some debris and it got dragged under and ripped the wire off or something like that. Or incorrect installation and it was rubbing on the disc and it got damaged. I don't see anything like that. They are disappearing up there behind that panel, so I will have to look where the connector is and so on and deal with it. Also, this unit I will need to use the scanner and see if it operates or if it's complete replacement. I'm not sure. I don't think I am able to engage my parking brake at this moment. Good, I'm not living in San Francisco with those photographed steep streets where you park on super steep hill. This vehicle will be not able to be used there actually. So yeah, look forward to these arms. It's a lower arms with a ball joint. Both of them create a horrible, crazy sound, which is driving me insane, but that should be fixed already in 2 days. One more thing before I will let you go. I really don't like this performance Mercedes-Benz rims. They are 20s. The tires in the front are decent, the rear ones are gone. And I would like to trade it with somebody or sell them and buy the original rims which were on this vehicle. And this vehicle originally came with 255/40 R19 and 275/40 R19. Check the eBay and Craigslist. So far I didn't see anything what will catch my eye. I will keep looking, but I'm definitely a buyer for a set of wheels for this vehicle. Obviously that comes with problems because you have tire pressure sensors in it. They are connected to the vehicle. Everything will have to be reprogrammed and so on. So it's just complicated and costly thing, but there's nothing wrong with these. I just don't like them, how low profile the tires are, but whatever. That was just a little note. So Mercedes, it's playing jokes with me. As I said 3 days ago or 4 days ago, I bought her. She was driving okay. Now she has this problem, but she's in good hands. I will obviously take care of her and fix her up. So there's an unlimited amount of content for this channel. As you can see, the repairs which can be done on that are endless. So please make sure you are subscribed and you have notification on so you get all the videos. If you like the video, please give it a thumb up and stay tuned. I have way more very soon coming your way. Thank you for watching and have a great day, my friend.